Hi and welcome. So you've been offered a role as a principal at a court and community school. So first, congratulations. You may or may not know that the court and community school setting is quite different than your traditional school setting. And to prepare for that new role, there are certain things that you should do, certain things that you should know before you jump in with both feet. Today, we're going to talk about at least 3 things that you should do prior to getting started in your new position. Before we get into the discussion, let me introduce myself. I am Sabani Parcells. I have 25 years of educational experience, 16 years in administration, and 7 or so years as a principal in a court and community school setting. So I am here to offer support, to offer information, coaching, guidance to those who are either new in the court and community school setting or those that are struggling. So today, as we talk about the at least 3 things that you need to do prior to getting started in your new position, I want to remind you that this is just a start. This is just how you can begin. There are many things to do, but it is important that you are prepared and ready to go as the new principal in a very different setting than a traditional school. So first, what I want to suggest is that you learn as much as possible about your program. And how do you do that? What is the best way to learn as much as you can about the program? The first best thing to do is to meet with or have a conversation with the previous administrator if that's possible. Sometimes principals move on to be assistant directors or directors, or they have other roles in the organization. If that is your situation, then it would be a great idea if you can seek out the previous administrator and talk about the program and just get some idea about the schools that you will be supporting. Other times, the administrator is no longer there. If that is the case, then you should seek out another administrator in the school district or the county office that is familiar with your programs. So this may be an HR person, maybe a program specialist or a coordinator that have worked with the court and community school program where you will lead, and this person would be able to provide you with good information. So you want to have a candid and a really open conversation with either the previous principal or another administrator, just so that you can hear about the real challenges of the program. You may be able to get information about staffing needs or initiatives that were started, so that you will know how to move forward with your work. And this is really important, just because when you look at a job description, it will talk about your tasks, your responsibilities, your duties, but you don't always get the real background story of what's happening with students, with staff, with the program, with community partners within your schools. So a great way, again, to find out about your program is to meet with a previous administrator or a current administrator that is familiar. Next, I would visit the sites. A lot of times when you are a principal of a court and community school setting, you have multiple sites. So you have some perhaps court schools that you oversee, for example, juvenile hall, camp or ranch, and then you may have a community school. So you have multiple sites that are in different locations throughout the city. And so it really is important to go throughout the campuses before starting, introduce yourself, get to know students, get to know staff members, meet any available community partners that may be there that you can speak with. So it's just a great idea to see the layout and the flow of the campus. If students are living there, you may want to ask to see the living quarters or the units where students live, the cafeteria, the libraries, the courtrooms. Just really get familiar with what's going on on the site, so that you just have a feel of the movement and the flow of the different campuses and the different sites that you will oversee as the administrator. You also want to talk briefly with students to find out their experience, what they like about the school setting so far, if they feel like they are getting a really good education in the schools. If there are staff that are on site, because you may have gotten an offer over the summer where some sites might not be open. Some have summer school going on, so you may be able to talk with some staff as well, and just a brief conversation about the climate of the different sites is going to be really important. And then another way to get a feel for the program is to start looking at reports. You want to read the reports that will give you information about student achievement and the academic progress that students in the program have made prior, so that you can start thinking about what initiatives or what you need to focus on to have improvements in academics. You want to know what the special needs are for students who may be emerging language learners or students who receive special education services. So these reports will help you figure out what the achievement is for different demographics. You also want to look at budget type reports. If there are grants there, how is money being spent? Are there any deficits that you see? Are there any surplus sums of money that can be perhaps used in a different way for your sites? And just get an overview. Of course, with reports, you won't be able to necessarily read them top to bottom, front page to back page, but if you can get an overview of what's happening in terms of the different reports that are available, then it will give you a really good broad overview of your sites. And then if your schools are accredited, then you want to look at the accreditation report. That report can show you what to focus on for improvement, and also what are some of the great things that the school is doing to move students ahead, if they are really supporting students with credit recovery, or having a large graduation rate, or connecting students with post-secondary education or opportunities. Then that is something that you want to, of course, continue and to expand on. So you want to know about those different things. So the second thing that you should do before starting your new position is to set aside dedicated time to plan at least for the next 30 days. So this may seem like a very basic and obvious step to take, but it's really important to sit down and set aside time for planning. You want to plan the first meeting, official meeting that you have with your staff. So a first staff meeting. If you were hired in a time where school is not in the regular school year hasn't begun yet, and you are doing a summer planning, then you want to plan for the first staff meeting at the beginning of the school year, where you're doing introductions of yourself as well as other new staff. You want to kind of talk about your initiatives and a vision that you have for the program. You want the meeting to have a celebratory mode. You want it to be positive and upbeat, so that you have great momentum going into your first year as principal. So that's one thing that you want to plan, is the first staff meeting, where you can really get to know staff, have them get to know some things about you, and articulate your plan. You also want to take time to plan for classroom walkthroughs for the next 30 days. when will you go to the different sites. I talked earlier about having multiple sites, both court and community schools. And so it's important that you schedule time to go to different sites, to go into different classrooms, so that you can see what is happening in the different classrooms. You can focus on the instructional practices, student engagement, and what's going on in the classrooms. If you are just planning on doing that as you have time, or not setting aside for it, a lot of times days and weeks and months can go by and you have not gotten up to see different sites, because the position of principal of a court and community school is quite busy. So you do want to look at your next 30 days and plan when you can see every site and every classroom, and even visit other staff members who don't necessarily teach or are not working directly with students all of the time. So you want to meet with your school counselor, school psychologist. You could just meet with different staff members, so that you have a feel of the work and the flow of your different sites. As well, when you are visiting the different classrooms, you are also getting familiar with the curriculum, and that's going to be important as the instructional leader, that you understand what's being taught, how it's being delivered, the textbooks or the online program that's used to house the curriculum, if there is a learning management system, and how is that being executed and implemented in the classroom. So getting familiar with that curriculum is also a really important focus when you are scheduling your walkthroughs. And the third and final tip that I will give for a brand new principal in court and community schools is to set aside time to get to know the core partners. In court and community schools, you will work with organizations and agencies very closely to support your students and to support other young people that are in the facility. So for the court school side, that will be both probation as well as a county mental health staff. So you want to make sure that you are really familiar with the leadership and introduce yourself, or if you have that opportunity, go into the facility, ask to speak with the chief or deputy chief or any manager or the superintendent of the facility, and kind of talk about some of the protocols and procedures that are in place, safety considerations that they have. You want to talk about areas where you can work together with either probation or mental health to support students. So it's really important to start building those relationships, because the core partners are those that you will work very closely with. It's extremely different than in the traditional school, where the principal works with maybe an assistant principal or alone with a school team, and any outside organizations may be coming in periodically to work with students and staff. But in court and community schools, the partnerships are extremely key to the work that you will do as principal, and it is important to build great relationships with probation and the mental health staff very quickly. So those are the 3 steps that I have for starting as a court and community school principal. Let's review. Number 1, you want to learn as much as you can before starting. Number 2, you want to set aside time to really plan, at least for the next 30 days, of what you will do and where you will go and who you will meet. And then 3, you want to start really building great relationships with core community partners, including probation and county mental health. So I hope that this information was really helpful for you. If you found value in this, I hope that you will like this video. Also share it with other administrators that are working in the court and community school setting. Please also subscribe to this channel. I will be uploading information and other videos about leadership and administration in the court and community school setting. So if you turn on your notifications, then you will be able to get those recordings, the videos right away. So thank you so much for sticking with me through the entire video. Drop a comment in the comment section if you are a new administrator and are getting started. Let me know if you are a court and community school principal or just court schools principal. If you have a question to ask about leadership in court and community schools, please drop that information in as well. Thank you.